Friday is a 48 First Alert Weather Day, sponsored by Mr. Electric, your area expert for home Generac generators.
Well, let's begin with that 10-day forecast. Some big changes as we approach the weekend. Friday, a 48 First Alert Weather Day. We're going to go through this hour by hour in a second. We're not expecting an outbreak of severe weather. We're expecting some stronger thunderstorms, and ahead of it, some of you will suffer with a high of 95 and a heat index around 105 to 107, and that's just going to be more fuel for the late afternoon thunderstorms. Keep that in mind. 93 tomorrow. Not much is going to happen tomorrow. I think we're going to be absent of the clouds we had today, and therefore it's going to be hotter most of the day. 95 heat index, 105 Friday ahead of the storms. Saturday, a round of showers and thunderstorms still possible for the mid-morning or early afternoon hours. We're still working on the timing of that. There's a frontal system moving through, and that will provide nicer weather Saturday night into Sunday morning. And Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, lower humidity is back, so it's going to be a little bit refreshing, but it won't be as refreshing as what we had just a few days ago. And the low 90s is pretty much typical this time of year, continues through the rest of the 10 days. Here's what we're looking at as far as the storm threats Friday. Again, this will be early afternoon and then another one late afternoon, early evening. Moderate chance here of some 45 to 50, maybe 55 mile per hour wind gusts. Very heavy rain. Hail, probably not a big threat with this, but lightning sure will be, especially if these get going with the peak heating of the day. So here's about 8:30 in the morning. Notice we're starting off in the 80s, so very muggy air out there. And what we're going to have is an old thunderstorm boundary that comes in and refires as it runs into this warm, moist, unstable air. And it may not get all of us. In fact, if you're watching from Florence, Russellville, and Phil Campbell, the model guidance has skipped you the last two runs here, but it doesn't mean you won't have thunderstorms to deal with, because it gets kind of chaotic when we deal with these types of patterns. But the thing that keeps showing up is one round followed by another round at some point in the afternoon. So notice right here, it goes through the metro area, back towards the 5 Points area in Moulton around 12:30 in the afternoon. Also keep in mind, we ask you keep checking back on this because the timing will change with each run of the forecast guidance. From Scottsboro down towards Albertville, Arab, Coleman, you got from Smith Lake to Lake Guntersville here around 2:15. And keep in mind, that's when you're probably picking your kids up from school. Could be dealing with some of these stronger thunderstorms. And then as we get towards 3 or 4 in the afternoon, a secondary boundary starts to fire up, and that kind of moves to the southeast. But the model guidance here is kind of showing it clustering over the metro area again, and that typically leads to very heavy rain and lots of lightning and, again, some isolated damaging wind gusts. As far as tomorrow, I mentioned earlier, not much going on. Kind of a typical August day, 91 at 3, a high of 93. Those rain chances, they pick up Friday into Saturday, and then they begin to drop Sunday. In fact, we may be taking that 20% out of the forecast.